Hello and welcome back to another episode of A Build a Day. Today we're building just a medieval house. Just something not overly complicated, not overly technical, at least as far as I'm concerned. You might look at the final product and go, how on earth does one do this? And it's quite simple. I just followed my steps of building, which is shape, color, texture, detail. That's how I do it. I break it down into 4 big steps, and then just those steps have sub-steps, like color has, obviously my color palette and stuff, and then texture has various different bits, and sometimes I do that while I'm building, and sometimes I do that after I've sort of finished a lot of the building, because world edit, it's just a lot nicer, it saves a lot of time, but then like adding the details, that's where a lot of the build comes in. Because if I removed all the details from this build, you'd be like, what is this? This thing, it looks like this wall is flat, there's nothing here, and it just looks a bit bad. So a lot of it is in the details, which is why quite often, especially as the build gets bigger, detail takes up more time. Because shape is, pretty easy considering it's step 1. It's what shape is your build going to be? Is it going to be a square, a circle, a rectangle, a triangle? Maybe? Who knows? You can do whatever you want. And then color, sort of the next pretty easy bit. What blocks am I going to use? My color palette. So obviously for this, there's a lot of wood, so a lot of brown, and there's a lot of stone, so a lot of grey. That's basically it. And because it's medieval, a lot of the build has a frame, so frame block, and then sort of a filler, and then the base block, and then after that, there's elements of texturing. So I textured all of the frame before I detailed it. And that adds some detail, which means that you don't have to put too much on. So if you do texturing and after you've done your detailing, quite often I find it looks noisy. It can look quite noisy and you don't really know where to look. The build doesn't really sort of guide you to one place, which is quite often if you're using a gradient, what you're trying to do is guide your eyes up the build to a focal point, whether you're building like a cathedral and you want like a giant circular window that's like really ornate, got stained glass all over it and stuff, and it looks really cool. So you like sort of gradient your way up and you guide the viewer all the way up to that window. That's what you're trying to do with gradients, and you can't do that if you do the gradient after the detailing. It's also just a lot harder to detail and then do texturing, because if you're trying to texture like behind details, it's quite annoying, especially if that block is like sort of visible, like you've put some like leaves there or a sign, because you can see around it, right, or through it, and you know as the builder, oh, that block is wrong. But this build was a bit all over the place because I used World Edit for the main bulk of the texturing, and I'd already built it in a different world, so I just basically copied it over from that world. That's my sort of creative testing world. More like a graveyard, but you know, there's so many unfinished builds because I just went, no, this looks bad, this is not good, I'm not happy with this, or I just got a different idea and started building that. But yeah, anyway, we've sort of done the front, a lot of planters and stuff. That's mainly all the detail, actually. It's just a lot of planters, a lot of window detailing. This build's pretty simple. It looks complicated, but it's quite simple. Most of the detailing is, in planters and the windows and stuff. And then there's those like fence bits that go up to the wooden frame above. And then I've obviously got this like balcony bit, which comes out quite far actually. And as I was testing this, I built this one block. No, this is one block deeper than the other build. So basically, there on the side we see it goes 2, 3, 2. It was 2, 2, 2 on the second floor, between the pillars, which meant that I discovered that walls don't connect to fences. Like, why? Why? I didn't understand it, so I pulled out the debug stick because screw Minecraft's rules. I'm gonna build how I want. So I pulled out the debug stick for that, and then there was some weird quirks with stairs that I discovered as well. This game, I don't know how it works. Like, how is this stable? Java. That's, it's one of the reasons why I don't understand redstone. Somebody requested a redstone build actually. I was half considering it, but I am absolutely awful at redstone. Like, people can make like 3x3 piston doors that are like 1 block deep, right? You just slot it into a wall and it's like near seamless, and then they're like the wide as, you know, maybe 7 blocks at like the widest. Mine are like, you know, the redstone takes up like a 20x30 area with like 10 blocks of height needed. It's like, my redstone is awful, it's terrible. But you know, maybe I'll incorporate some redstone because it's quite a good way of giving life to a build, because a lot of builds can look pretty dead, you know, like nobody's home kind of thing, and adding redstone just sort of adds movement and motion into a build that is, you know, is quite crucial for a lot of things. You know, banners do that and stuff, and having villages. If you're building a village, right, and you spawn proof everything correctly, and you can just villagers, just pop them about, put a workstation down, bed, they will walk about and it will add life. It will be like, there, look, there's a resident of this village, and they walk around, they do their daily stuff, they go to the sort of central area where you have the bell, and that's a pretty recent addition to Minecraft. 1.14, I think. But anyway, video's over. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the new year. Yeah, it's New Year tomorrow. Anyway, goodbye.